Rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it. This is where it goes down. I just happen to come up hard. Legal or illegal, baby, I gotta make it.
I never took a straight path nowhere. Life's full of twists and turns, bumps and bruises. I live, I learn. I'm from that city full of yellow cabs and skyscrapers. It's hard to get a start in these parts without paper. Homie, I grew up in hell, a block away from heaven. That corner age 15 minutes, it move at 7. Pure snow, bag it and watch it go. Occupational options, get some blow or some hoes. Shoot the ball of the...
What's going on, Cigar World? What's going on, Cigar Enthusiast? This is Jack, the Cigar Enthusiast, and I'm back with another video. And today, oh man, y'all gonna be thrilled after this video. We have a special guest that I cannot wait to dive into conversation with. And you guys are really gonna learn something. If you don't take anything from anything I say every day in and day out, every week, we are doing something wrong. So you need to go ahead and let me know that I need to include something else. With that being said, man, go ahead and drop into those comment boxes. Give me those waves, because you know when you wave, you get a what up from Jack the Cigar Enthusiast. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and share this link. Share the watch party on Facebook. Share the posts on YouTube, and make sure you invite everybody into so they can learn as much as we possibly can, and we can get these views numbers up, because that is the goal. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and give me a big thumbs up. And also, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and hit that heart like this. Just tap away at that thing and really get that mug going. With that being said, man, how are you guys doing today, man? Sunday is, it's just a perfect day for me. If you don't know, for everybody that was late, and do not start hitting me up in those comment boxes saying, happy birthday. What up, Brother Red? One of my fraternity brothers, my Masonic brothers is watching right now. Red Satan, man, my mentor, boy. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you got your stick and your drink ready to go. With that being said, man, I tell a lot of people, man, I had a great weekend. It was my birthday. I turned 29 years old, or 29 years young, whichever way you want to think of it. I had a celebratory event with just me, me and the wife. We did some things. We ain't gonna talk about what we did, because none of y'all business, but the more of the story, we got out, we celebrated a little bit and was safe while we did it. With that being said, man, smoked some great cigars. And I said all of that to talk about this cigar that I'm smoking today. Shout out to my boy Kevin with Conscious Cigars. He is a brother of mine out of Tampa Bay, Florida. He has his own personal cigar line, and he's doing great things. He's hitting. He's a black cigar owner, but he just hitting a lot of wickets. And today we're smoking on the Conscious Robusto. This is a 5x52, and it's a Ecuadorian wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder, as in filter. What the heck, Jack? Like you don't know cigars. A Nicaraguan filler, and I'm really looking forward to this. He makes a Lancero, and I'm not gonna give you too much details, because I need you to make sure that you go ahead and you understand what we're doing. But we're coming out with a special sampler. Jack the Cigar Enthusiast here at Dapper D's, we are big on making our exclusive samplers that people can, go buy and sample cigars and really, find their palates. And I try to put together, great samplers that when I do make recommendations, I don't have to run all through my website to tell you what I recommend. But this sampler, I tell you, is going to come out in August. I'm not going to give you too many more details, but trust me, you're going to want to check it out. And also, if you missed last week's segment, man, we gave away a 5-count travel humidor with 5 Bella Airtest Maduros, a tri-blade straight cut, as well as a cyclone cutter as our monthly giveaway. And in order to get into those monthly giveaway, all you have to do is really simple. Go to DapperD'sCigars.com, which is also right here in that tickler box. DapperD'sCigars.com, and subscribe for a chance to win. Now, this month, we're actually doing a great giveaway that I'm actually excited about. We're giving away a Onyx 50 count humidor. This humidor is roughly about a $75 value humidor, and it holds 50 cigars. So for my guys that's looking to expand their cigar collection, or women that's looking to expand their cigar collection, or just invest into a humidor, all you have to do is go to Dapper D Cigars and subscribe for a chance to win. I mean, that's the simplest way to give away. And I showed you guys last week that I'm really going to give this stuff away. It's no point in saying we'll give something away and not give it away. And that's going to come in August when we give that 50 count humidor away. With that being said, man, it's time to light up some cigars and get into our conversation. If you don't know, my name is Jack the Cigar Enthusiast. I am the owner of Dapper D Cigars, located here in Jacksonville, Florida, which, by the way, the soft opening of Dapper D's will be happening September. Alert. That's newsflash for a lot of you people that don't know. It is happening in September. I promise you it's going to be major. But anyway, if you're still looking to get your cigars and you want to support Dapper D's, go on DapperDCigars.com and make your purchase. And you're going to make sure you're going to be excited with the quality of cigars as well as the professionalism that you get while shopping at Dapper D's. But more to the story is, we created this segment of Virtual Smoke Deck to really to bring together the conversations that you typically have in the cigar lounges. Cigar lounges are, just like golf courses, are prestige places to have conversations with people you don't have a clue and you don't know their social or financial status. You could be sitting across the room from a millionaire, billionaire, and you would never know that you're sitting across from there if you do not open your mouth. Well, the same concept goes into business. You would never not know what you know to create a successful business if you fail to not open your mouth. And that's what we do here on the Virtual Smoke Deck. So with that being said, our special guest this week runs Morgan Monroe Consulting, which is a consulting firm for not only life as a life coach, but business coach, as well as a plethora of other things that she has and does here in the Jacksonville area. And I'm excited to meet with her because not only that, they are also launching something that we're going to talk about towards the end of this segment. So I hope you guys stay tuned and for this whole entire video, because there's going to be some great things. But more or less than anything, let's introduce Vrinda Holmes. What's going on, Vrinda? Oh, we having a problem. I can't hear you. All right. Can't hear you. I can hear you now. I think everybody can hear you now. We can't hear you now. All right. Hold on. Are you there? All right. So it looks like you can hear me, but we can't hear you. So that's a little issue that we're going to have to address real quick. What I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to bring you back in here in a couple seconds. I'm going to go over some things and let's see if we can fix that connection problem. But yeah, so here, Vrinda is as soon as we get her volume working and bring her back into the studio, I can't wait to dive into this conversation. She's actually does business consulting. So if you're not familiar with what business consulting is, business consulting is like a business mentor. Nobody in business would tell you that you should not have a business mentor. When you're coming into business, when you're coming into, whatever it is that you want to, go or do, you need somebody that you can talk to, somebody that's been there, somebody that's done that, somebody that can assist you and give you the tools and things that you need in order to be successful in business. I personally have a business mentor, and he has taught me so much stuff, from how to write my business, from my business plan to, how to negotiate, to looking over leases, to everything. And without a business consultant or some type of mentor, if you don't have that type of network where you can just have a business mentor, or you need a business consultant, this is what Vrinda does. Before we go ahead and get started, let's give a couple of what's ups to those people that's dropping those comments in those comment boxes. What's going on, Miles? I see you giving us those heart emojis. I appreciate you tuning in. Felicia, what's up, girl? Teresa, what's going on? And of course, my lovely wife hitting me with that wave. Hey, we got Teresa coming in again, man. And I just see them coming in. Tristan, Tyler, Corey, let's go, baby. Let's hit that share button. Let's get this watch party going, and let's try to bring Vrinda in one more time and see if we can go ahead and get this going. What's going on, Vrinda?
Hey, can you hear me now?
I can definitely hear you.
Yay.
What's going on with you today?
What's going on with you? Nothing. Enjoying this beautiful Sunday.
Man, we are doing good over here. Are you drinking on something tonight?
Well, yeah, I have my favorite here, my Stella Rosa Black.
Okay. You Stella Rose blacking it out tonight?
And that's what we do. That's what we do. It's a Sunday show.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, do me a favor. Turn up your mic for me.
All right. Better?
Well, a little bit.
Okay.
So, Vrinda, tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about Morgan Moreau Consulting.
Well, I am a native of Jacksonville, Florida, born and raised. I only left home to attend school and to join the United States Army. After that, I came home, did some more working or whatever, and I started making money for other people. And that was something that I was trying to figure out. How can I cut out the middleman? How can I keep all the money?
I need you to speak up for me, V.
Okay, you can hear me?
I can hear you, but it's very faint on our end.
Okay. All right. So
There you go. That is much better.
okay.
That is much better. That is the quality I need right there.
We fixed it. We had a lot going on, extra attaches and stuff. So, like I was saying,
let's go back into it. Not to cut you off, but let's go back into your introduction, and you're telling us a little bit more about Morgan Moreau Consulting.
Right. It came about as me first starting out as a notary. I just became a notary just because, I just wanted to do it, to see what it was all about. Went to a couple of, I call them the old lady notary conventions I went to, and picked up some business classes along the way. So from that, I started helping people do document preparation. I started helping people make presentations like PowerPoints and small videos. So then I thought, well, why don't I just go a step further? And if they need a business or anything, I can help them do the setup phase. Like I said, I had all these other businesses like selling makeup or whatever, where I was always the low person on the totem pole making money for somebody else. So I went into it, and I started out as my first brand was Document Diva Mobile Notary. I went from there and changed everything over to Morgan Monroe. So far right now, I have a few consistent clients on a consistent basis. I handle social media marketing, brand consulting, pretty much anything you need to get started, help them, get their LLC registered, let them get their business structure up, do the business plan, contingency plans, or anything they need to get their foot out there and get started.
And that it's whenever it's starting a business, it's always start strong, right?
Right.
You need to make sure you have a marketing plan. You need to understand how to set up your business, because a lot of people run the LLC, but LLC is not meant for everybody.
No, it's not, and I tell people that all the time.
Absolutely, you get certain tax breaks when you go a S corp or a C corp, but maybe if your business is not really set up for that, then that's what you typically run an LLC. People think that if you have a business and it has to be an LLC, that's the best way to go. Now, what makes the LLC the best way to go? And then I'm gonna kind of go into the rest of everything else. It's a limited liability corporation. So God forbid something happens and you find yourself in an entanglement with another company or somebody.
No more entanglement.
When somebody is suing your company or something of that nature, it limits your liabilities to the point where they can seize or sue you for what your business is versus all the other entities that your business ties into. So you typically see some type of corporation have, dozens of LLCs under it all. So therefore, if something happens to one of those LLCs, it doesn't necessarily go towards all the entirety of the corporation. And then, making sure that you have that marketing that you need in order to really set everything up is really key. And that's why I think, and that's why I said earlier, while we were getting the volume fixed, that if people don't have the resources or the network in order to have a business mentorship, then business consulting is the way to go. And then somebody not only that can help you in business, but somebody that can help you the entirety of the way, whether that's registering an LLC, whether that's getting your marketing campaign, whether that's starting your fundraising campaign, whatever it is, that's the purpose of you. So, a lot of people don't understand how important in business consulting is, and how knowledgeable they have to be. So, just tell us, what made you? I understand you got into notary, and then you sold makeup, probably like Avon or something like that.
Those people.
Okay, so a thing about business, what a lot of people don't understand is it's never too late to start, and it does not matter where you start.
Exactly.
Right? A lot of people be like, man, I'm 80 some years old. I can't start a business. Why not? You have a great idea. You have a concept. You have a business plan. Put it down. But more or less than anything, most people at 80 years old ain't starting a business. But I think it was more of a metaphorically speaking that no matter what you're trying to do, you have to start somewhere. And what a lot of people don't understand is you have people with sucky selling skills or sucky sales strategy. And understanding business 101, and then I'm going to give you business 101, not you, but everybody that's watching. If you do not know how to sell, you're going to have a hard time in business, because from the point where you're signing contracts to the point you're hiring people to the point you're looking for contractors to do work, from the point of anything, you're negotiating, you're selling. And if you're a pushover or somebody that's going to be like, I think that sounds great to me, and you just paid a third more than what their competition or their competitor is pricing, you're failing. So understanding that sales is everything. So it does not matter how you get your sales, just understanding that sales is a key attribute to have. But outside of that, like, what made you go this route? A lot of people don't know you are Eastern Star. For those for all my Masonic folks out there watching, that is pretty much a female Mason. But I'm gonna let her actually break it down, because we don't have female Masons. So look at it like this: you have the Masonic fraternities, which are like your alphas, your kappas. We're gonna generalize that in that area, and then you have your sororities, which is your deltas, your AKAs, and different stuff like that nature. Being that we're not gonna have history lessons here, but Masonry is the oldest fraternity out there, right?
Yes, it is.
This is our sorority, so she is an Eastern Star, as well as she's a veteran. So we have commonality there. You served how many years in the Army?
8.5. Yep.
What was your MOS, if you don't mind me asking?
I started as 92 Bravo, which turned into 91 Kilo, which translates into a lab tech, which I still work in a lab today.
Thank you for making it simple for me. This Navy guy over here that
yes,
right,
all these letters and numbers, so I had to break it on down. That translates.
You're talking about 1788 and like what? What is that?
I know people like who, what? Yeah, lab tech. That's it.
Right. But Vrinda, tell us a little bit about the key attributes of your business, some hurdles that you had to go over, and some things that you learned in your business that you probably, if you would have learned quicker throughout the process, you probably would have had a lot more successes already on top of the successes that you have.
Right. The one thing I had to learn about was, if you're going to start, you got to keep going. You can't start and stop. And that was what I did. So I lost time. So that was one of my hurdles. As far as financing, a lot of people get out here, they get a business, they get a big check or two, and they quit their jobs. No, I'm not going to quit mine. So one of my other hurdles was I still maintain a full-time job. At some points I had 2 full-time jobs, and I was single parent. So that was something else I had to throw into the mix. And then especially just doing all of my other stuff, being an Eastern Star, handling, just living life in general. but I managed to put it all together. Once my son got grown and went off on his own, then I started regrouping and refocusing. Now I can have some normalcy. Now I can be more focused on the business because now I have myself. It's just me now. So that's what I did. I'm not going to leave my job anytime soon because some people don't realize how you need to maintain that. Now, if you can jump out there and do it, I applaud you. High five. Great news. However, but you got to be prepared to jump out there. You got to have at least 4 to 5 months of your salary saved up because anything can happen. You got to have your business plan together. And right now, at this point, I'm just not set and ready to go that point. I'm fine where I am. So I'm gonna continue to work so I can retire in the next few years. Not that far off, but then I'll be able to go full throttle and push forward with the business.
You know, people, for again, I love analogies, so I use analogies a lot.
Me too. I do too.
You know, one thing about business is one of those things where it is a faith based, and you have to have 120,000% into you. You know, I know people that are successful and doing business, but still has a job because they don't really, and there's no dig, it's not no punches, no nothing. But people don't have that 100% faith in themselves, right? And so going on a limb and saying that you're not only going to follow your dreams, you're going to change your narrative, you're going to create that legacy using your business is really hard for some people. But
it is. Again,
she hit something that's right on the head. Is don't just go out here and start quitting your jobs unless you know you're 100% ready to put up that plate. You still got responsibilities, you still got bills. You cannot make it to the point where you're sitting here and you're going into business and you're piling up debt. You're swiping them credit cards to pay the bills, and you're not paying the credit cards. You're not doing this. You know what's funny is I actually quit my job and I do Dapper D's 110% of the time.
Right.
My wife was like, "Are you crazy?" And I said, "No, I'm crazily. I'm crazily in understanding of what it is that we're doing. I'm in love with my operation. When you're working into something that you really have a passion in, it's no longer like you're working. You know, Dapper D's. I'm thankful to everybody that supports Dapper D's. Obviously, we can always use more support. The bigger we grow, the bigger we go. But you know, the point of the matter is, you know, the overwhelming support that we have has allowed me to get to this decision. And then once we open up that lounge, it's really just, you know, kind of just an outpour. And a lot of people, especially when you're looking at business. So I want to kind of prepare people for these conversations. When you're starting your own business, especially something like a consulting business, you can work a job as well as maintain your business. You know, you can have those conversations and build that person up and help that person along the way while still maintaining your life. But when you're going out here and you're trying to do something, I don't know, like open up a cigar lounge, or open up a McDonald's, or open up that nature. It requires you time. You have to. People ask you this question. This is not a trick question. I'm going to give you the answer right now. People are going to ask you, are you 100% committed to this?
Yep.
And if that answer is, I am, but I have a job, that's not showing that you have 100% commitment to your business. And as a business coach, I already know that this is what you're telling your people, because at the end of the day, that is the correct answer. We had a guy that was looking to start a business and couldn't. The place he wanted to open at failed to work with him simply due to the fact that he said he's not doing this 100%. And if you're not into something 100%, why is somebody going to put their money into something that's half percent or half-assed for that matter? So just understand, you know, it's okay to do that and set up your business to the point where you can, you know, only support off of your business and really rock and roll and go that way. And I'm glad you hit on that point, because so many times people just like, it's kind of mind blowing, you know. It's
it is.
Do you not understand? Like, you used to take all these surveys, and these surveys is for you to get the job. How many times on that survey did you tell the truth about how the that person you was? You be like, man, I cussed that dude out. He said,
right.
Versus saying, no, that's not me. I'm gonna walk away.
Right.
I'm gonna tell somebody. So
I'm going to report it to management.
And this is why having a business coach is important, because if you don't understand that, when you do go and sit down and talk with investors, when you do sit down and talk with a leasing company, when you do sit down to talk to a bank for financing, if you need it, the conversation gets real gray based off of that answer right there. They can be in love with you and fall completely off of you just like that, just based off of how you answer that question.
Exactly.
I mean that I think you know everything that you have going on. What is one of the things that you typically see in the consulting business where you see a lot of people tend to have problems with?
They have problems with consistency, and the consistency part is a problem because they can't separate their life and their business side. You know, like for instance, they have their personal Facebook or social media, and then you should also have the business. But then you're not consistently posting stuff because you have to realize, be real, we're in a different age now. So if I'm looking for somebody that's going to want to paint a house, I'm not going to the yellow pages. I'm going on social media.
Absolutely.
Check them out. I'm going to check their reviews. I'm going to check everything to see, did you knock out windows? Did you bring the wrong color? Did you come back and rob the people 2 weeks later? What happened? So the consistency thing is something I find. And that's also, like you said, with them being 100% in, this is the one thing that they are lacking on, because if you're not consistent, you can't expect for people to take you seriously. And that's a big thing I keep seeing overall across the board. So consistency has to be the biggest thing. And I can't coach that.
I apologize. And that is true. And you can't coach, you can't coach passion, you can't coach consistency, you can't coach motivation, you can't coach dedication, you can't do none of that.
Nope. That's individual effort.
We can sit here and pave you a whole goddamn road to freaking success, $1 million bag. But you gotta go over this fence. You gotta go through this bush. You gotta figure out that this bridge don't have, you know, the slabs on there to make it across. So you gotta figure out how to get across.
Right.
If when you get to that, you're like, nah, I'm good. You know, shoot. I'm gonna go back this way. Then you will never sit here and be successful with business.
Right.
You know, it's something that we talk about every week. And it seems as if, and before I say this next comment, what's going on, Will? Big Will in the house. But before we go ahead and move on, no, excuse me, sorry. Lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I say this every week, and I say there's 3 things that you must have: dedication, motivation, and persistence. If you do not have those, then you're going down the wrong path and you're not going to be successful. You know, I used to hit on, I just figured out Jeff Bezos' personal story, right? You kind of got to put it together, but this is my side of his personal story. Amazon started off in a garage.
Right.
He was selling newspapers back in 98. Right? And I used the word selling newspapers in 98. Hence what we just said earlier, selling helps. Selling newspapers in 98 out of his garage. He started off in the office, you know, just like Mark Zuckerberg did. Started off, brought a couple people together, aka investors or partners. And some went with him, some did not go with him. More the story, you look at Jeff Bezos now, right? And about a month or 2 ago, he made a comment that says, he told a customer, you're not the type of customer I want to service anyway, or something of that nature. You know what it takes to say something like that?
Oh, yeah.
You know the type of backlash that you get for saying something like that as a CEO that's growing? But when you're the richest man in the world, because you know,
can say that.
at 98, in 1998, what it took you to get through 99, to get through 2000, to get you to 2010, to get you to 2020, where you're at right now. You know the hard work, the dedication, and nobody is ever gonna be able to take that away.
Nope, not at all.
So those things that you need for business is, I mean, it's mind blowing. You must have those characteristics to be successful.
You do. Yeah. And I say it all the time. I tell people I'm never not working because I'm never not working. I'm working after I get off work. I'm working in my sleep. I sleep with a notebook because if something comes to me, I don't want to forget it. I need to harness that energy. I need to, I have a creative mind. So when I'm in creation mode, I have to keep moving. I can't stop. So it is dedication and persistence, especially when you're doing the creative side of the business, which is what I mostly do.
Man. So what is the most important and instrumental thing that you feel businesses need to keep them at the forefront when they are creating or running a successful business, and why?
I would think that the most important thing they would need would be transparency, because everybody likes to feel like they're taking this journey with you. And, for them to be successful too, I need them to have their personal lives in order. Not saying everybody's life is perfect and every day is not going to be peachy keen, but you got to have some type of balance, because whatever is going on behind the scenes is going to spill over into the business, and then it's going to be portrayed out, which you can tell that when you look at some people's business, you're like, well, what they got going on? It's because they got so much going on over here. They don't have a handle on it. You don't have to make it perfect, but you got to get some type of consistency again, and, a little bit of transparency, and, you can ask for help. It's okay. It's okay.
And I think that's the hardest thing that it takes for people, is to ask for help. What is the easiest thing that you would tell somebody, or the simplest thing that you would tell somebody that is hit a roadblock in their business, or hit a roadblock in trying to figure out the next direction of their business? What's the easiest thing or the simplest thing that you would give them as advice?
Somebody called me the one-liner queen, but I'll tell them to rest but don't quit. It's okay when you hit that wall. You need to embrace that moment. You need to feel it, because it's going to fuel you to keep going, and you're never going to want to feel like that again. So you can rest, but just don't quit. You can pause, but regroup, refocus, do whatever you got to do to get it back together. But just remember that feeling, because you don't want to go back there. And I personally know that, because I don't want to go back to that point where I hit the wall. I know how that felt. You feel defeated. You feel like you can't go anywhere. So for the most part, you got to just keep going. But mostly I would tell them rest, but don't quit. I'll let you take a break. And as their coach, I'm coming right back to wake you up, and let's keep going.
Absolutely. I think about football all the time when you compare business, right? The practices was always harder than the game. And you never understood why the coach made you run, out of your 2-hour practice, an hour and a half of that practice. And what they were trying to get you to understand or get you to build was the endurance to endure the race. And when you have the endurance or the perseverance to endure the race, then you're 9 times out of 10 going to finish the race. If you don't finish the race, it does not matter all the time and effort that you put in to getting to the point of making the race. If you don't put in that extra drive, that extra push, and understand that your biggest critic, regardless of what I tell you, regardless of what you tell them, regardless of whoever their business mentor tell them, the biggest critic that they have is themselves.
Exactly.
It's themselves when they stand up and they look in the mirror, when they know they failed and nobody else knows they failed, how are they going to bounce back from that?
Right.
And I think that's the hardest thing, probably. And again, I don't know, but I would imagine that would probably be the hardest thing, as a coach, is how do you get them to overcome the mindset when they have already established or determined that they're
defeated. It's hard. You gotta kind of stay with them. Like at some point I develop a personal relationship with my clients. They become, we become business family. So I have a special spot where I don't want to see anyone fail. I want everybody to win. We all can eat. It's enough money out here for everybody. So it hurts, but I try what's in my power, to push them and motivate them, because I don't want them to stop, especially if I can see their vision and they can't see it, but I know it's something that's going to be viable and take off. I got to stay in it. If I don't stay in there behind, it just shows I don't care. And I really do care.
Yeah, but you walk a fine line between how much you care and how much they care for their own business.
Right. Exactly. And then when it
And,
comes to the point some of them don't care enough, then yeah, I ease off.
and that's the fact. It does
Hmm.
not matter. You know, a lot of people feel like, you know, money is how your successful is going to be.
Mm-mm.
I mean, how your business is going to be successful. But a lot of
Right.
people don't understand is you can have as much money as the bank could possibly throw at you, or an investor can
Hmm.
possibly throw at you. But if you don't have the aura about you to
Hmm.
make it through that storm, those
Right.
hurricanes, those tsunamis,
Hmm.
those tornadoes is going to come and twist everything all the way up. You're not going to
And it's
make it.
coming. Yep.
You're not going to make it. You know, people love, a
Hmm.
lot of people ask me, it's like, Jack, are you stupid or are you stupid? I'm like, why? Just trying
Right.
to open up a cigar lounge in the middle of a pandemic. You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I know God got me. And I
Absolutely.
know dang well that I didn't make it this far to let a pandemic, you know, stop me from doing what God needs me to do. You know,
Yeah.
and you have so many things. I said that to say you have so many things out there that is presents itself as a negative that can, you know,
Right.
really, you know, push you away from your dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
If
like,
you let it.
if
Hmm.
you let it, but it's like, when are you going to understand that once you let failure set in your mind, you're 9 times out of 10 going to fail?
Exactly.
You know,
It's your mindset. Hmm.
it's crazy. It's crazy,
Yeah.
right? And
And
it's
I
just,
tell people now that with this pandemic, excuse me, this it's been crazy because I've seen a lot of businesses get started now. I have new clients that are starting stuff and actually literally taking off. And I tell people you can still create out of chaos because this is the time that it's a blessing and a curse, but it's kind of making people refocus and sit still for a minute and figure out what they want to do with their life. So it's a good time. I've seen a lot of success going on lately,
do
including
you,
you.
my girl, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, but you know, I use the analogy of this: WhatsApp, WhatsApp, Airbnb, and
Hmm.
I want to say it was a couple more, but I'm not going to misquote a company and give them, you know, notoriety on a topic that they didn't really do. But I know those
Right.
companies for sure did this, and they created their business in one of the worst times
Yep.
in America, one of the worst times in American history, which was
Hmm.
the recession we hit back in 2008.
Hmm. Yep.
Think about how many people probably told them you're crazy.
Hmm.
We're in a recession. Do you know people not working? Do you know people not
Hmm.
this? Do you know? But and you know this as well as anything. There is a
Hmm.
part of your business plan where you come up with your target market. Your
Hmm.
target market, right? That
Hmm.
that that is not in there because they want you to have it. They need you
Right.
to understand what your market is.
Exactly.
Understanding your market is going to understand the times that's going to affect how your market
Hmm.
reacts. If
Right.
your market has a high disposable income ratio,
Hmm.
it does not matter if it's a pandemic, a recession, a depression,
Don't matter.
epidemic, whatever the case
Right.
may be, they still gonna do what they need to do.
Hmm.
You
Yep.
know, it's like
Exactly.
it's just you know, I I think it's just freaking crazy that
Yeah.
people have so much fear
Hmm.
in their business and what they came up with
Hmm.
that you can't persevere over that.
Right.
It's like no matter what kind of coach you have,
Hmm.
nobody can teach you that.
Nope.
Nobody can teach you that at all. You know,
Mm-mm.
which takes me to my next question. Not only does
Hmm.
your consulting firm help you with equipping businesses with the tools they need to have a successful business, but
Hmm.
you also focus on the life coaching aspect as well. How important
Right.
is it to have clarity when trying to run a business, uh, and anything in your life?
Yeah. It's very important, and you'll be amazed how many people I come across that they need balance, period. You want to start a business, but you can't figure out what to cook for dinner tonight, so stuff like that. It goes back to all those old sayings we've been told, like happy wife, happy life. All of that means the house got to be happy. You got to take care of home first. So you take care of home, you create a peace. You can't get all this stuff done and you got all this confusion around you. So some people, they need help trying to figure out how to organize their thoughts. So that's where the life coaching part comes in at. I did a whole bunch of training for that. I'm still doing more and adding to that because times are changing. Everything now is pretty much virtual. I do those by Zoom, and just coach them through how to get their ducks in a row as far as setting up the life so that they can have a business, because that's something I had to learn. Still working full time and having a business this full time as well. So I had to have some type of life work balance. And a lot of people don't know that. And I remember back in the day, it used to be all these workshops we would have at the jobs that would teach you that. They don't do it anymore. So now they just want you to go to the EAP people and talk to a counselor and come on back to work, because they're not really that concerned because you're disposable. So now you need to figure that out for yourself. And it's okay. Some people don't know how to figure it out. And that's why they have people like me to do the coaching as far as business and life all at the same time. I tell everybody I'm pretty much, I call myself a success coach because I want you to be successful across the board.
Mm-hmm. And that's 100% right. It's really hard to sit here and be able to give a business 110% when your life around your business is in shambles.
Right.
Some of the business worst time is when the CEO or if you don't have an established board of directors already, but you have like a one-man show or something like that. The business typically see their worst times when you have so much turmoil going around you, which I am big on, protect your energy. Somebody said something. I wish I could give the quote the proper recognition, but it says something about don't if Ice Cube said on the Breakfast Club, he said if somebody tells you something and it doesn't pertain to you, then let it go.
Let it go.
Don't let it sit there and marinate in your brain. And were they right? Were they this? Do they know what you do wrong? Do they know the conversations that you have in your closet or you have by yourself when you sit in the car or your one-on-one sessions? They don't know that.
Nope.
So don't let
them
dictate what it is that you got going on. If you have some stuff going on in your personal life, you must get that stuff in order. You have to get it in order to be successful.
Right. And a lot of people have trouble sorting it out. So I always tell myself, ask yourself one simple question. Is it making you happy or is it making you money? If it's not doing either or, then you don't need to deal with it.
You don't need to deal with it. You don't need to deal with it.
At all.
All you giving yourself is a headache.
Exactly.
That headache is going to turn into a heart attack eventually.
Exactly. Some health problems, and then you got some more problems, some more bills.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think if there's anything that you need in order to run a successful business from a coaching perspective, it will be not only do you need to have a strong business foundation, but you need to have a strong individual foundation. If you're spiritual, pray. If you're one of those people that need people to vent, make sure you have your circle around you.
Exactly. Gotta have that support team.
You gotta have a support team. And a lot of people get confused because they think their support team has their back 110% when that's not.
That's a whole nother virtual smoke topic.
You have to watch it.
A whole nother topic. Exactly.
And that's part of your headache right there.
Yep. That alleviates a lot of headache.
A lot of people be like, man, Jack, what you be doing? If I'm not with my wife, I'm with myself smoking a cigar. Because I know at the end of the day, somebody ain't going to talk me out of anything if they not around me.
Exactly.
Somebody ain't going to tell me I should be doing this. When you don't know half of what I be doing, I don't got time to be sitting here explaining what I'm doing to you all day.
That part.
A lot of people just feel like, the circle around them is 100% for them, but those be the ones that hit you the worst. Those be the ones that sit in that closet praying to God that it don't work.
That part.
Man,
it happens.
We can get the preaching up in here, but we ain't gonna do that.
No, we ain't gonna do it. That'd be a whole sermon by itself.
Man, I tell you. Well,
Mhm.
y'all also got something great coming on, and we're actually gonna bring on another special guest to our podcast, which is a good friend of yours. I actually
Mhm.
met she's this woman with you, or this young lady through you, and
Mhm.
it's just crazy. Again, I talk about the circle and the company you keep, and when you see
Mhm.
your two dynamics, it's really a one to really admire, right? Because
Mhm.
not too many times in today's society you really have people rocking with you. But
Exactly.
the next person we're going to bring on, which is also a good friend of Verinda's, and also something that they're collaborating with as well, is Felicia Barney. What's going on, Felicia? How you doing?
I'm doing fabulous.
Man, that is great. That is great. I'm going to ask you to give her one of your AirPods, if
Yep.
you could.
Oh, okay.
Let me hear you. Let me hear you,
Can you
Felicia.
hear me? Can
I
you
can
I
hear
hear
me?
can
you.
hear you now. I can hear you now. So you guys got something going on right now, where you guys are creating Fab Cigar Society. Tell us a little bit about Fab Cigar Society and what is the purpose behind it.
Go ahead.
The purpose behind Fab Cigar Society is we want to do something a little bit different than what all the other cigar clubs do.
Mhm.
Um, we want to be elite, 45 and older women of all race, color, ethnicity,
Okay,
and we want to be global.
Mhm.
okay,
So right now we are working with people in Jacksonville, outside of Jacksonville. We have multiple people that are interested in becoming part of our elite society,
Exactly.
and we're excited about that.
Yep.
before we
And
move, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Before we move on, that was my fault because I'm the host here and I didn't do my part on making sure. Felicia, tell us a little bit about you and how you and Verinda really got close.
Ooh, that's a whole nother live. I met Verinda in 2013, coming out of the club at a Mike Epps after party concert,
Mhm.
Okay,
and we've been friends ever since. We're OES sisters. She's part of the On the Run with Felicia the Doctor crew. Uh, Very supportive. We pretty much do everything together. My husband calls her his extra wife. So we're together all the time. We do everything together. We collaborate together. I guess in essence, we became each other's life coach.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. She came along at a time it was kind of a rocky time, and I needed to change my soil so I can grow. And
Absolutely,
that's pretty much, what happened. And I mean, the people we've met through each other have been like phenomenal. So we,
absolutely.
we keep pushing. She's always encouraging me. 'Cause I've wanted to get up this whole Morgan Monroe thing for a long, long time, but she keep making me do stuff.
Consistency,
Right,
consistency.
right. And
Hmm.
and that is great to have. Is again when you have that type of circle around you. And again, people say in order to make a circle, you got to have multiple points within that circle. So you got to have
Hmm.
multiple people that creates that circle around you. And
Hmm.
I am the biggest person that says that is a false statement. If it's one two people that creates your circle, then guess what? Make that circle small enough to make sure that when you do draw the circle, it's only y'all two in it. And I think that's the biggest part about it. And that's pretty much where y'all have come with Fab Cigar Society, correct?
Hmm.
Correct,
Correct.
correct.
So you guys, I heard you say it, and you guys are looking for more mature women to come into this cigar society. What is the purpose behind that? And would you ever sit here and say that there is a time where somebody younger than 45 can join your society?
They can be the Fab Society Junior.
But no,
I think for both of us, we've been there, done that with the younger female component. And I think we've moved to different places in life. You know, we have two adult children, almost 30. So we're looking for something that's elite, something upscale, something laid back from all walks of life. We're looking
Mhm.
for people who are interested in networking, community service, doing some outreach, learning, teaching, just embracing a sisterhood
Mhm.
with no chaos.
Right.
And in my opinion, I think you really find out who you are at 40, but you confirm your personality, your views, your values when you hit 45.
Okay.
So the reason we chose 45 and older, because there's so many 40 and older clubs where they allow too many 30 and under people in.
Come on.
So then it becomes no longer a 40 and older club. So by 45, we're cutting out a lot of the things that we don't want to deal with. We want this to be upscale. When we show up at Dapper D's, we want to show up with mature women. They understand they're there to have a good time.
Mhm.
They're gonna, have their cigars, smoke their cognac, entertain, enjoy, and have a good time.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And you know,
Pork free.
and that's deep because I tell a lot of people is a lot of my friends, like people that I, you know, confide in or get advice on other things is older, man. Now I have at 29 years old, you know, I have a lot, which me personally, if I was a female, I wouldn't make y'all cut. And I don't know how I feel about that,
We
but
didn't even know you were that young.
Okay, so first of all, we didn't realize you were that young.
Right.
We would have never guessed that. And, we'll be interviewing women before we allow them into the society. It's just like any other
absolutely.
organization out there.
Mhm.
Any Greek organization, there is a process.
Hmm.
Not
A Delta, not everybody's an AKA, not everybody's an Alpha, not everybody's a Kappa. So we are going to be on those same standards.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you set that standard high, you already know what you're attracting. You don't have to worry about, you know, the mess. A lot of the things that that you were hidden to, I would imagine that you're looking for people that are content with their home life, that have a stable work-life balance, that understand, you know, that we're not here to be, you know, eye candy or toys or anything of that nature. We're here to have elegant and upscale conversations and really just meet and network with people. Not try to get in relationships with people. Not trying to, you know, sit here and, you know, find, you know, be Cupid with all the other people, because I mean that turns into a mess, you know. And I agree. Like I was saying, a lot of my friends are like, man, I got a friend, like a personal friend that is like 56. You know, somebody that I talk to. It ain't even like, hey, what's up, pops? You know, none of that. It's like, yo, what's going on, brother? How's everything going? Type deal. And when you're able to have those friends that are older, then you're able to absorb so much more wisdom and mature a lot faster. You know, it's not about maturing to a point where you're seen as old aged or anything of that nature. It's just people have made those mistakes. And if you can, you know, get with somebody that's made those mistakes already and really just kind of come together on that situation and understand that, well, look, Jack, don't do this because I made this mistake.
Right.
But if you decide to make it, then guess what? I'm here to support you through that as well. And that's what a real friend is. Right. So, you know, Fave Society, you know, we're really looking forward to that. But with everything that's going on, you said you wanted to go global. Is how long have you guys been doing this, and why now?
Why not now is more of the question. Why not?
Okay.
The conversation came about maybe a month ago. 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night on the phone, just talking about our standard random, no football, you know, just life in general. And, you know, we both said, you know what? We need to start something that's elite and upscale for women our age that are content with their personal life, content at work, but they're looking to have a little bit of fun, not all the time, because again, I'm pushing 50. After 9 o'clock, I'm sleepy. So, something where we can go and, just hang out, have a good time, great conversation. And I guess maybe 2 weeks after that, Verinda was in a cigar group. We're both in the same group, and she saw your post and she reached out and we started talking about it. And I said, well, I've never heard of Dapper D's. You're sure it's on the north side? So of course, I live by the airport. I started riding around. I'm like, oh my God, I found it. It's really going to happen. I'm excited. So of course we met with you, and it's been happiness ever since.
Absolutely. And so, as women that smoke cigars, a lot of people don't know women smoke cigars. It's kind of mind-boggling. It's kind of ignorant that people be like, oh no, only men smoke cigars, and be so surprised that there's women that smoke cigars. I know if it wasn't for you guys being inside the house tonight, you guys will be lighting up. We're gonna go into what's your cigar preference, but more or less than anything, what if a woman that has never smoked a cigar before in her life, if you could tell them anything or any advice that they would ask to how to get into cigars or what kind of cigars to smoke, what would be some advice that you give them?
I would give them the same advice that I was given at a wine tasting. Smoke what you like. If you're unsure of full body to medium body to mild body, pick a few. Try a few. Whatever you like is what you smoke. It's great if you can pair your cigar with a bourbon or a scotch or a tequila or a whiskey. However, However, at the end of the day, smoke what you like. It's the same thing with wine. Drink what you like, smoke what you like. And eventually you will grow a palate to something a little bit more heavier or more mature from what you are smoking. But initially, I think you should start off with something that you like. And if you don't know what that is, and I hate to promote flavor cigars, but as a girly girl, I know you say it. I know you know it.
No,
we're gonna say it.
But my first cigar, my husband bought me a Groovy Blue. And I think we were in, I want to say we were probably somewhere in Mexico. It was a flavor cigar. And that was probably 15 years ago. I was never into cigars, but I wanted to figure out how I could spend more time with my husband.
Come on.
So, because he smoked cigars, I started smoking cigars. So I got with him. So I've acquired a taste.
So before everybody go ahead and be like, man, what does Jack have on, flavored cigars? People ask me recommendations every day. I kid you not. And I actually hate answering that question. Jack, what you recommend? Jack, what you recommend? And I'd be like, are you asking somebody that smoked every goddamn cigar out there, from mild to full body to flavor to whatever? Don't ask me that, because one, you're not ready for what I'm about to tell you. And then two, it's all about where you at. It's all about where you at. And I think you hit it. I think you hit it right on the head. It's all about where you are. I personally, and like I expressed to you guys before, to you ladies before, sorry. I am not a person, and please don't come into Dapper D's thinking that we are going to talk about this, or I'm going to suggest you on your first cigar a flavored cigar. I messed up. I'm telling you now, I'm learning from my own mistake. I did that to my wife, and now we're smoking. We're getting her to smoke more of a Connecticut cigar, even some medium body cigars. But it's really gotten to the point where when you suggest a flavored cigar to somebody, whether it's a man, a woman, or whatever the case may be, you're setting their palates up for failure, right? And that is very, very simple. You're like, how is that possible? Have you ever drunk a martini or a margarita or anything possible, whatever the case may be, some type of liquor formed with some type of juice or sweetener for that matter? It makes it taste a lot better. But then you go and have that drink by itself, and you're like, what in the world is this? And then what you're running to is always that sweetener or that flavor to that actual cigar or that actual drink. which is why you like the drink in the first place.
Right.
So I tell you, if you're gonna smoke cigars, try at least a Connecticut body cigar that would be great and mild in the beginning, because when you do a flavor cigar, you're setting yourself up. And kind of one of the last things I really want to get into with you ladies is what made you guys start now? Why with all the cigar lounges in Jacksonville, which there's not many, right? There's not many, but with all the cigar lounges in the reputations they have, what has prompted you to not start and kind of go to one of those other cigar lounges in the area?
I'll let you answer this one.
We just like being different. We like being outside of the box. We think outside the box. We like doing new and different things. So this was the perfect opportunity for this to all come together and for us to launch it and birth it out here. And then it's historical. I like making history. I like being in the books. So this is like a good thing for us because we just don't like being in the norm. So we like doing different stuff, going different places. Sometimes it's limited. And like she said, with football being out,
college football.
Any football.
Yeah.
At this point,
not going,
football.
Yeah, I'm not going to nobody's stadium right now. So yeah. So we needed something else to put our energy into, and then this was it. And the timing, September is like the best month of the year. Wonderful things happen in September. Dapper D's open. I was born. So it goes hand in hand.
Right.
I agree. So it just was a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. I am one of those people that are extremely humble and extremely blessed in the part of being able to travel to different countries, to see different cigar lounges, to see things that a lot of people have and a lot of people don't have, and how to bring it together in one area. And I think when you look at the Jacksonville market, and this is no knock to anybody. I mean, anybody that has a cigar lounge out here, I would love to have a cigar with you. Some of you guys I have talked to personally, but I would say is Florida is the mecca for cigars, right? Florida is the mecca for cigars in the United States. Let's say that, right? Everybody knows Cuba and yada yada yada, but the industry and the United States is one of the ones that a lot of people want to break into. And then on top of that, Florida is one of those, when you think of Florida, especially when it comes to cigar, golfing, racing, whatever the case may be, people think of cigars. And when you don't have places that really commemorate the actual cigar culture, it's really hard for people that really love cigars to fellowship with one another. It's really hard to have what I said in the beginning, where you have across the room a millionaire, a billionaire, or somebody of that nature that can help elevate your life. If you don't have some type of atmosphere for them to dwell in, right? And atmosphere is everything. And I think that's something that we're gonna bring in. I'm really interested to see how Fave Cigar Society pans out. And we would love to have you guys in Dapper D's, and hopefully we're able to make that work over the course of the next couple of weeks, and to really bring your aura to the environment. And I really do mean that. With that being said, closing remarks. I usually like to do this at the end of my segments and really give y'all time to just drop. If there's one thing that each one of you guys can, both of you, this is for both of you, one thing that each one of you guys or ladies could drop to us or motivate us, what would it be, and why?
Go ahead. I'm the philosophizer.
And this is anything.
I got a wealth of stuff. Consistency and fabulousness. The one thing that I feel Jacksonville does not consist of, and I think Vrinda and I / Morgan Monroe will bring that to Dapper D's. Consistency, elegance, fabulousness, I think we can bring all of that.
Yeah.
If that would be my, what you think?
I think it's just like my hashtag says. We're just gonna simply make it happen.
And we're gonna do it our way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And
Well, I
with Dapper D's.
absolutely. Well, I definitely appreciate you ladies stopping by and spending your Sunday evening with Dapper D's and also myself on the virtual smoke deck. It was a great conversation. I feel like I learned so much out of the conversation, and I feel like we can take away a lot from each other within this segment. And I think for those that's watching as well, this is a two magnificent women that is out here doing the dang thing day in and day out, and regardless of what they've been through, regardless of the things that is thrown at them, they continue to strive and become a true success story. And I think when you have somebody around you that pours into you like that, you have nothing but success. So I really do appreciate y'all, and we will be in conversation here very soon.
Oh yes,
Cheers.
most definitely.
Cheers. Y'all have a great night.
And happy birthday again.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great night. So with that being said, there's a lot of things that you can learn from people, and it does not matter their walk of life. It does not matter their background or their situation. It's all about what we can learn from and what we can take from. And I think, having that circle that's around us that can really pour into us is very key, especially into business. Regardless of if you're going to start more of a society club or you're going to start an actual business, or you're looking for, somebody that can really lead you in the correct way, it's perfect to have those situations or those people around you where they can just pour into you and build. Networking is key. Networking is everything. And that's the biggest thing that we can do is don't be afraid to open your mouth and ask those hard questions that we need to know the answer to. If you want to know something, ask me. If you want to know, everything what's going on around somebody, don't feel like you have to, sugarcoat or walk your way around that. Ask the question and let's really, just get into it. And then the last thing that we're going to come and go to, if you haven't already, go to Facebook under Dapper D Cigars and hit that like button. Follow us on Dapper D's, and also go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give me a big thumbs up, and turn on that notification bell. Jack the Cigar Enthusiast is my YouTube channel where we posting content every Wednesday and going live every Sunday. Also, if you haven't already, go to dapperdcigars.com and subscribe for a chance to win our Onyx 50 count humidor, which we're giving away at the end of August. We do give our giveaways out here on the virtual smoke deck. So the best way to know if you won is by simply coming on here and watching. We usually do it at 7:30 on the date that's here illustrated on the bottom of here, which is the 30th of August, which we would tell the winner. With that being said, I appreciate everybody that stopped by and spent the last hour of their Sunday with me, and I appreciate all your amazing pour out of support. I ask that you continue to support, continue to follow us for all our updated content, and also if you're looking for cigars or needs or wants, go shop Dapper D Cigars for those needs and wants, as well as in September, which we will have a definitive date here very, very soon that you can expect to put on your calendar for our soft opening. And we're going to have a grand opening of Dapper D Cigars here in November. With that being said, I'm Jack the Cigar Enthusiast. I appreciate everybody's support and everybody's tuning in. I'm gone.